So anything interesting come up? While we wait, we can basically watch. We can watch this video here while we wait.
Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll show you 10 general tips for RuneScape 3 returning players. First of all, I made a video on my
Just going to say first, this is Tonix RS if you want to look up the channel. But I think this might be interesting to just watch through like his recommendations as we wait for food anyways, right? Because it's not much going on Runescape before I start bossing again. Let's see what he recommends for new players.
And I'll leave the link in the description.
Returning players.
Before I start this video, what can you truly expect from this? Now the definition of a returning player is really vague. I mean, some players have returned after 10 years, while others only a 1 or 2 year break. I'm gonna make this guide as if it's geared towards those who haven't tried EOC yet. So because of this, some of the stuff may be more obvious to others. Now this is
I would say that's a very good choice because a lot of players actually did leave for EOC. So you would hit a lot of players that did actually leave at that point. So we bring in a couple of players that played before that or old school as an example. It can be used for both of those kind of players. So that's a good choice. Thank you for the sub, Sarah. That has brought us actually into the 15 sub points. We actually met a requirement for new emoji. I can show you. Should I maybe show it in? I should rather just show it here first. I can. Well, I don't really need to show it. I basically have 15 sub points at the moment, which means that I have just unlocked an additional emoji on the stream that I can add on later. Next one is 25. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sub, Sarah. We're going to continue on with the video then.
This isn't a guide on specific content, as I quote, these are general tips. I am planning to do a guide playlist where it's dedicated towards returning players. If you want me to make a specific guide I haven't made about, just feel free to comment down below. Here are my 10 tips. Number 1, research. Nowadays there's an in-game command called /wiki, which will take you to an RS wiki page that you type in instantly. When it comes to research, don't always have to ask and wait for an answer to a simple question. I mean, look at the RS wiki. It's such a good source for basic information on most items, places, quests, or even recent updates.
Good job.
When I first returned to this game, I learned a lot from browsing RS wiki pages. So yeah, research is the key to progression. There are also other helpful resources here, and I'll leave the links in the description. Tip number 2.
Really love that he picked, like, for some people have like attention span that they will not go through the whole video. He showed the most important feature for someone who needs information, and that's a wiki command. That's really good on him. Like, really like the video so far in itself. Like, it's not that visible unless you've actually read the update, but it's so useful. Try it yourself if you haven't. /wiki and then do a space and then write it like he did, like search up devotion or something. Like, really useful to learn stuff, the wiki. It's really resourceful. Big kudos to the team over at RuneWiki and everyone that makes that wiki work tick and updates everything. Hello Leah, welcome back to the stream. Going to continue with the video. Might as well let him go through his points before I stop the video, I think. We're going to go through each tip and then I can comment.
Freedom to explore. So no matter how well a guide explains their content, you're probably not going to understand this on the very first try, especially if you're completely new to this. Everything has a learning curve of some sort, even the simplest things here. Honestly, don't expect to be spoon-fed each and every single piece of advice. At the end of the day, how you want to play this game is entirely up to you. You know, there are several updates over the course of the years. To learn and get used to everything, it is gonna take a while, so I highly suggest you be patient. Don't expect to memorize 10 years worth of updates in 1 week, okay? Even when I first came back, I was very unfamiliar with EOC, and it took me weeks to understand this. Before you start forcing yourself to learn unfamiliar content and being frustrated with not knowing what to do, just do what you're normally comfortable with at first. The third tip we have...
Really precious. Like, be sure to always have this, and this comes with everything in life. If you are curious, if you're curious about learning something, you're going to have this drive to make it through eventually, but you need to dare to try out things to get there. That's the most valuable lesson in life. If you're not going to try out things and learn things, you're not getting anywhere. You're going to be stuck. Like, always try to renew yourself. Don't have a stance at all opinions all the time. Like keep on trying things. If I didn't do this myself for Runescape, I would be stuck not doing AUC. I had that thing going. Like, I wasn't doing combat because I was against AUC. I didn't want to start over. Really firm on that. Did not want to start old school because, well, it was no old school at that point though. But you know, yeah, passion and patience. Some people need more time to learn. I have difficulty in learn from others actually. Kind of funny when I actually want to learn other people, but I have a problem with listening sometimes, and that can drive some people angry because it takes me a lot of time to learn something new compared to very many others. Like if I think school wise, I need a lot of repetition before I get good at things. But I have this feeling that when I actually do practice, I get much better at some points than some other friends in certain aspects. And I've seen this too, like I do coach other games. I have a gaming house running in my hometown of Bergen, Norway, in Norway. That I've seen, like I brought like the top players from the noob stage to where they are today. Like not on the high, but they took learning from me at the start to get into the game. I fed them like information like go and watch guides on your character, go and get better, and it goes with the same with Runescape. I've been like evading guides much in Runescape, I must say. Like I've evaded a lot of guides of late. I'm just doing it and doing it my way. But as I started to watch guides, like people experiment, sometimes I actually found out a lot of by myself. But when I've watched guides now, I've always learned something new. Most likely something new that I didn't think about with the update. So you always take the exploration part first, sink in what they got there, and then still go for those extra tooltips by the end that may enrich your experience with said content. I'm going to watch to see if the water is boiling out here. Sure looks like it. Yep. I'm soon back, chat. It's going to set on a timer here. It's not something that would burn, so it's easy to make. Yes, like I haven't brought everything from the store, so I just have some pasta again. Really lazy. But yeah, that's what I eat. Going to continue on the video.
Is called patience and preparation. What I mean by this is don't jump into bossing right away with the lowest possible gear. I understand that a lot of people dream of killing the biggest bosses as soon as possible, and yes, it's nice to have big goals. However, by dividing big goals into a lot of short-term goals, you'll inch closer towards getting bigger goals in the future. A lot of times I see people trying to jump into bosses right away with a really low gear setup and thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a lot of drops and make a lot of money from this. To be honest, you'll actually end up losing more money than you make, especially if it takes a long time to learn these bosses. Even for me nowadays, I haven't profited at all while I was doing Araxor, so yeah, I'm patiently learning everything here. Ideally, you want to make money with other money-making methods, and then prepare yourself for the basics of EOC before you start jumping into bossing. At tip number 4, we have Wilderness and Loot.
Well, did go over that point. Like with Talos and all, you don't want to jump into the latest. I kind of see it like a stepping curve or steps. Like you want to start at something easy to familiarize yourself. And I do have some steps that I normally go over with people, like how they should probably get that second ability bar when they start bossing, and how they should clear the ability bars to be on one certain ability style and then shared abilities on a second one with food and potions. That's the first thing I learn people, if they haven't done that, because drinking and eating items takes a lot of focus that should have been on the main screen. So if you don't already have that, please get your food and potions on your bar and have a second bar for that. If you have if you need to know where to get said ability bar, type in chat and I'll show you after, but if you do, food potions on bar. That's first step. That's first step beyond like getting a ability bar, combat ability bar sorted. Because people would start, random. But yeah, like you have to be realistic with yourself. You're not going to beat Solak if you cannot beat AOD, I would say. Like you want to have those steps. Maybe AOD and Solak has evened it out a bit, but yeah. Yes, exactly. Search should be in there. Some prayers if you need to take it manually, if it's not on your prefix. You can look at my bar afterwards, but really there should be some shared abilities. And hold your 3 to 6 ability bars for combat. Depends on how many you have. I have bought all of them with points when I could. But yeah, like should have ideally like a pure magic bar, pure range bar, pure melee bar. And if you wear dual wield and two-hander, you should have a separate for that too. And have all like common abilities and extended, or if you have more abilities that you need on bar, you need to have it somewhere too, I guess. But main abilities on bar. Defensives, I really recommend getting defensives on the second ability bar as well. But yeah, going to continue with the video.
Luring. You might be thinking, oh, everyone knows what luring is. Everyone knows how to avoid luring, right? Luring is actually more common than you think, as I've seen people on Reddit complain about getting lured. In order to avoid getting lured, it's really simple. Just stop trusting random people to tell you to go to the wilderness for whatever reason, or drop items for them because they'll give you something in return. I cannot stress this enough. No matter what, they're always gonna be a scam, and to my surprise, a lot of rich players fall for this. If it's too good to be true, just stay out of this and stay safe. You'll notice that there are some giveaway streams which have 1k plus view bots, right? Those are called phishing scams. If at any point you see a fake stream of a famous streamer, just completely ignore this and report them. They're gonna lead you to an external link which will enter your login information, and thus they'll hack you instantly. Then again, not every giveaway is a scam. Those that do not require you to click an external link are completely safe. The other thing I like to talk about is don't bring anything that you're not willing to lose in the wilderness, okay? I've seen people bring a noxious bow and complain, oh, I lost my noxious bow because someone skull tricked me. I didn't attack someone first. You're right, you most probably didn't try to attack someone first, but there is some way that people can cause you to get skull unintentionally. I am very certain that there's gonna be an unknown skull trick in the game, so don't rely on protect item to save the day. In order to stay safe, just bring some welfare gear like, I don't know, a sun spear or a vanquish or something like that. At number 5, we have
So yeah, I was really happy to see that they mentioned the Twitch thing. And with it Comes also the advertisers in game. I wish he mentioned that too, but he didn't. Not everything can be mentioned, but well, you will always forget something, right? But both advertisers in game and those links in Discord, I mean Twitch, you should be aware of them. You should be careful about stream links and such, for sure. I recommend like asking if a streamer recommends something. Still ask how you can find it manually if you want, unless you're really good at watching the link, being safe that is. But yeah, it's a big problem with big streamers like the RS guy getting a lot of fake accounts. You can even go to the search bar above me right now and write the RS guy in there, and you will see that it has plenty of duplicate accounts there. Big partners. The partners are going to have a check mark on their account, much like YouTube. So you know that as an additional way of finding them. But never ever go through those giveaway videos that you see plenty of on Runescape, because they will often lead you to a link that will steal your account information, and you'll end up being one of the spam bots. I've seen that with my friends, some of my friends or clanmates in the past, and it's really a bad feeling. Like, normally I say, like, really do know the person ahead of time if they're going to do a giveaway, maybe a streamer that you know of, but be careful about those things. And those tricks, the way you get like this anti-layer. There's a trick that started off. It started off really as a merchanting thing, but you have one person selling something above mid. That was before the Grand Exchange, really common before. So you had one person standing on one side of the trading places, going to display it with two hands, like. So you have this big area, compiled area, and you would see one person selling something that wasn't found at the market at the time because someone wasn't selling it. Let's say nature runes, and a trade limit was probably like, let's say 330. And they say that they sell it for 360 maybe. And then on the other side you see this guy buying them for 400 each. How that person hasn't seen person one, that's the thing that you feel smart about, because you can trade the first one, right? And get the items. And then the other just turns away because he never intended buying those. He knows all the trades he gets. But people have found out so many tricks to lure and scam people in this game, and you need to be careful about that. Don't think that you can outsmart or the so-called anti-lure, and that was what I was leading into here. You have people like PMing you after you get up when you see something in display, like at the Grand Exchange you see this guy displaying that he has this trick you need to try out, and if you do it you get this amount of cash, right? If you see that, ignore it fully. But here's the thing that often happens. There are some guy that sees people around that said guy. He PMs them and tells them like, oh, this guy won't fall for my trick anymore, but I know how you can anti-lure this said person and get all the cash and keep your item if you follow my steps. And it's yet another lure. It's a partner. Don't fall for those things. Like, if it's too good to be true, ignore it. For sure, ignore it. Do not go through those things. You have better ways of getting cash on Runescape yourself, and legit ways of entering giveaways like on Twitch, and people like to do that, I guess. But don't trust it on Runescape. It's more likely than you think that it's going to be someone scamming you. But yeah, let's keep on going. Let's keep on going.
Discord and voice chat. Especially for gaming, Discord is extremely popular. When you're doing group bosses, it's extremely helpful for communication. Many clans nowadays have a community Discord server. Now the footage I'm showing you is the official RuneScape's Discord. So as you can see right here, they provide you a good source for information. I mean, you can also ask people for help without them needing to be online. depending on what RuneScape services you need, there are several Discord servers for this. What's also really amazing about Discord is that you can join multiple Discord servers at once. That being said, this is a good way to network with fellow scapers. I do have a personal Discord server myself if you want to check it out, but it's not the best, although it's worth mentioning anyways.
Yes, for sure is,
Custom
dude.
interface.
Okay, so actually this is the part where if you feel like it's not social enough in RuneScape, and I know that's a common feeling to have because I do talk with a lot of people that has felt it like that way, and so do I. I don't talk with a lot of people on RuneScape, actually. I do not. Like, I have some friends, and the sad part is that we often get into conversation because he got lucky with a drop, or I got lucky with a drop. And that seems to be the icebreaker to start a conversation. That's really sad, but that's how the game has become, besides clan chats for me and such. Okay, getting the food. Just going to keep on explaining this as you wait. Just going to mute when I take off the alarm. There we go. So the thing is that Discord is probably the new social hub of RuneScape, because these days a lot of people are not talking publicly anymore. At least not on my world, but we're a bunch of Norwegians and we don't talk. It's a Norwegian thing or a Scandinavian thing, I think. We don't want to, like, the general gist of a Norwegian is that they don't want to make anyone uncomfortable with going into a conversation with them or whatever. I have started to actually act out on this one in real life, and it has gone really well because people don't expect someone to do this here. Some people get scared and others actually like it because they get into a conversation, aren't they? It's really weird how I can't do this for RuneScape, but I do it in real life. And I was back to the point with Discords. So, firstly, like I said, RuneScape Discord is a really good place to get to a source of information and getting to know other players. In either voice chat or the chat rooms discussing updates and such. But we also have like a lot of community discords, and here's the gist of a good idea. Like, if you join any of these, you will probably get a lot of friends to do different things with. There's a lot of different discords for anything on RuneScape, all from a barbarian assault to soul, like, I guess. A lot of different things, even things you couldn't imagine. I'm not talking about illegal stuff, but community stuff. So if you have a feeling of doing something you feel is dead, like a minigame, there's most likely a community for this. And what you should look for then is something called a affiliate tab. Affiliate chat room or whatever, because they will display all the partners they have. Community parties they have, like they would advertise for on the Discord. I don't think they do that on the main Discord besides the language Discords. We do have a Scandinavian Discord run by Umami, and I think it's still some others. Umami and some others are running the Scandinavian Discord, which you can find on the main, and I think it's a German one, a couple of different ones that you can find there. Myself have this community called Mascab Academy, where we take people with the minimal requirements that we can think through the entire raid and learn people how to do it. You haven't seen me do raiding in a while because I've had bad weird times of streaming and such, I guess. I'm going to go back and do that more soon. But it's a really good way to get to know how to do raids. And we do have a lot of affiliates that might be more of your interest if you don't do combat and such. As I get back to the video, I will eat in between, and then I will continue on commentating the different things on the video like I've done before. I don't think we have much left of the video. Followed up with more telos after I've eaten. I just need something to eat before I continue. Should eat ever so often. It's kind of important. So yeah, food is soon ready for me. Yeah, you don't have to be an expert. You only need to be willing to try. In that sense, you need to be willing to try. And if you get into a toxic community once in a while, just try to search for the next one. Don't let it stop you. Like I think Micro and Will Miss It and such, they have this podcast going on right now, and they talked about elitism there. It's a different thing to have a standard. They say that they're going to have 4 skills and you need to meet certain criteria to join in. That's completely fine in my opinion. That's not elitist. That's setting a competitive standard. But I'm talking about like finding a random community, and they don't give you any expectations of being like this overachievers, and they really badmouth you for everything you do, like everything, making you feel really bad playing with them. That's more like a toxic community. But if you try to sneak away from standards, so when they say to you, yeah, you have this dummy, and to do this said content with us, we require you to meet 700k DPS on this dummy within the timer, as an example. That's not elitist. We all have different views on this, I guess, but in my opinion, not elitist at all. That's giving you the expectation up front, and if you feel that you want to continue and sneak in because of this, and then badmouth them because you couldn't do it and they weren't willing to learn anyone at that point, that's not toxic. That's just them like really being clear about what they expect from you and what you have to expect from them. Okay, let's see. Yeah, like, read through this. This is my community. It's called Muscap Academy. So every day at 18 game time, I usually say that the wrong way if I don't concentrate. We do raids. And if you're new, you need to sign up as early as you can, I guess. It's better to sign up and then like say on the day that you cannot attend and get yourself off the list. But if you know for a day that there's a high chance of you being able to do a raid on Sunday or Monday, like 2-3 days ahead, and it's a list there, sign yourself up and rather take yourself off, like I said. So you can say on that Discord that we have some requirements, minimum requirements to join us. Doesn't mean that you cannot join the community before you enter with us. You're free to click OK. It doesn't mean like I don't meet the requirements yet, but no, I acknowledge that these are the standards, more like a thing. So first you click OK in that Discord. You need to do that to proceed to the next layer. Then you choose standard. I mean like your experience role, which should be young Gobi if you have no experience and you climb up. Like, when it comes to clanning and such, I think that people need to be strict. I really think that people need to be strict about like what kind of rules you have in a clan to protect others. That means that sometimes you need to be the so-called bad guy, interfering certain things that does not fit for the clan community. You need to set a stop, and if people don't stop, you do have to do what's necessary to either microphone went off. Either get them away, like kick ban. I know it sounds like really mean, but if you're going to let people continue on with bad things in your community, that comes as me as a streamer too. If I let certain attitudes go through here, like really bad, that's on me making number or bad attitude. I should always give out warnings, but if it's really bad, I got some rules, right? I do have some rules before you can go in here. If someone's going to be really sexual, like, or something in here, that means a kick. That means potential ban, depending how bad it is. And other things too, have to be careful. It's much safer to go for the kick ban tactic as a streamer, because you are actually required to watch your own chat, and that's why you should get moderators. But I've gone really off topic here. Let's continue on with the video while I eat, and I will take off the microphone and webcam as I eat. So I am going to eat. I'm going to comment on things like in between. But let's watch the customized interface part here, and I will continue on here. Okay, let's see, webcam off. Be right back then with microphone and such.
Especially for new accounts, the default interfaces are really messy. You can drag and rearrange the interface components how you like. Otherwise, if you want to keep it very simple, RuneScape 3 has an option that allows you to use a legacy interface. You can put multiple action bars on the screen by going to your action bar settings. There are definitely a lot more features for interface you can customize, and I actually found a really good YouTube guide on this. I will leave the link in the description. The next tip we have is the revolution.
I think the biggest weakness with for newcomers on Runescape 3 is actually the interfaces. They need to explain more, and they need to make more prefix that works for different screens. They need to take some time to do this, I think. Continuing on.
Revolution Combat Mode. When you first return to this game, combat is really difficult to learn. It took me a month to understand the very basics of combat. However, luckily for you, we have Revolution. This allows players to automatically use these abilities in combat without pressing the keys. It will trigger them in chronological order from where you place these abilities. Generally speaking, it's best to use either dual wield or two-handed weapon abilities. Every account starts with 5 free action bars. At first, which abilities you want to use is really overwhelming. Luckily for you, we have the RS Wiki page for this. I know this page looks really confusing and long, but I would say just go after the Revolution ++ or the regular Revolution bar rotations. As you scroll down the page, there are multiple abilities you can add in as well. In the future, I might make a Revolution only DPS guide. These action bars will get you through the fundamentals until you start doing stronger bosses. Coming at tip number 8, we have Aerial.
And yeah, pretty much what I said too. Really good page to start off at. Said that on an earlier stream. Use that Revolution bar page on the wiki to set your first ability bar. That's your very first test. Yes. That's your very first step, in my opinion. Even before food and potions are needed. That will set up your DPS if you use Revolution bars. By far. Continuing on.
Basically, it allows you to loot multiple drops in 2 clicks. In order to enable this, go to your game settings, then hit item drops, then hit the loot system and checkbox the first 3 options. Every time you see multiple drops within a 5x5 radius, clicking this will open up the interface. Now press the spacebar and you can instantly loot multiple drops at once. This will increase the profit when you're killing monsters, and it's universally helpful, especially for Slayer in combat. Seriously, anyone who's returned to this game has to know this tip. At number 9, we have bank presets.
So the thing about these area loot is that actually I evaded area loot for so long, and that's because I like to left click items sometimes to get that one item on the top of the pile. But I did actually do more right clicks, and I didn't know this, but if you right click when you have area loot on, you can go for that one specific item instead of all of them. But area loot, it will increase, like you said, will increase your yeah, I'm going to read that up after. Area loot will increase your money from slaying and such, for sure. Slaying and killing monsters in general. It should be on. And like you're saying that, there, Leah, if you drop an item under you because there's nothing under you, that will help you area loot everything next to you. This is also a trick you can use if there's a glitched drop somewhere outside of the area or something. This can save a drop. Yeah, it is. That's logical. Very fair point to make, Devolvo. You will, because you use less time looting, that means better XP. For sure. Going to continue on then.
In order to set up a bank preset, go to your bank interface settings. This requires having the items in your inventory or equipment, and then you can click the cog and click save on the first slot. When it comes to production skills at a bank chest like fletching, crafting, herblore, firemaking, and many more skills, you have to withdraw them manually and then bank. However, bank presets allow you to instantly withdraw the exact same inventory and equipment setup in one click. Pressing the 1 key loads the first preset slot. This makes it not only easier but also a lot faster when it comes to training skills. When it comes to bossing, the inventory and gear become more complex. This is why saving the preset is especially helpful. The 10th and last tip we have is do your quests. Look, I understand a lot of people hate questing. However, quests are very rewarding as a whole, especially in today's day and age. In general, they're just a game changer, and they will make this game so much easier. Great quest unlocks include...
I forgot to stop there, but yeah, like most of us will already know about the presets, but good on him. Sorry for not stopping there. I was thinking thinking about, like, will he advise the suggested quest list? But let's keep on the video before we comment on it. Sorry.
Manifolds, Ancient Curses, Priv Access, Slisky's in-game, and many more nice quests. On top of that, when you get 150 quest points, you'll unlock a free tier 75 hybrid weapon. The quest point shop is located right near the Varrock Lodestone. You can claim this weapon for free. There are also one-time rewards you can collect from the quest point shop, and this gives you some pocket change. Just do your quests, trust me, it will benefit you a lot here. With that being said, these are the 10 general tips for returning players. They might also work for new players, but I cannot guarantee this. I hope everyone enjoys RuneScape, and best of luck with your goals. So how do you feel as a returning player nowadays? When you return to this game, what sort of things were you really unsure about? Also, if you want to suggest anything for my returning player guide playlist, then just feel free to comment down below.
That has been out a couple of months now. I'm just going to wash my face, and then I'll come back for the webcam and Mick and talking over the last point there. Okay. Let's go over the last point. Quests. I'm just going to take on my web camera again. Okay. Of course, quests are quite important, but he missed one really important point there, and I will comment on this video, but it's really well made. His whole video there is really well made, but I felt like he lost one golden opportunity. I need to step out of here to show. So the thing is that we have the achievement tab here, and in the summary section we have a really good achievements path section. This kind of displays everything noteworthy in Runescape at the moment. It's really good, well made. It was used sometime. I think it came with the. Did it come out before the quest shop? I think maybe it did. But this really shows you ways to where you want, what you need as requirements and everything. You can like click on Slisky's endgame, and it will show everything that you need to do and show if you have done them. So you know every requirement that there is to it, and I think it will display. You can select so it displays. It just displays the ones you haven't done or whatever. But this would be really good if he showed in his video here. It would be really golden, because a lot of players are like, okay, so how do I get into Preface? And I have to like. You found that invaluable. How come? Like, yeah, it might like be, like you said, like do all the quests. That would cover this. 100% would cover this. But the opposite. You meant the opposite of invaluable, like not valuable, as I told you. So, like, people getting into Prif these days, like, how do you get into Prif? And then you can just click here and you have everything you need to get into Prif. You know everything then. Like, shows you everything, and then you can click and then show how to start, what the requirements are. So that would be golden for him to have along here. Well, really, the video was really well made. And he did get the important, in my opinion, the important points in here that I usually use when people ask me about coming back to Runescape. I think yeah. So this would like show you that. Like, as a returning player, this would be really useful, because it kind of shows you what paths you should take. And the bosses shows you which new bosses. So this is the best way of reconnecting with the game. And I think it's also showed in order in a way. That means that if you quit around the time Learner come out, and you're wondering about the new players, I think that should be in right order, right? Oh, no wait, Ancient came before Learner. So that's not actually in order then. But that would be golden if these were in that order, update order. Because that would... This is probably by order of what they recommend, right? But you know... Let's see. Before I answer questions, I'm just going to link you guys the video of the video that we saw. I'm going to give him a sub and a like on the video. Oh, there you go. Like me not understanding English well. Thank you for making that clear that I actually were mistaken here. So I learned something new here. But yeah, thank you for correcting me there.